Hello, 5th and 6th graders. I hope you had a really good Easter and we finished our workbook. Yay. Now we are moving on to our last and final project. So you will begin this week by studying through vocabulary words and taking your quiz. Everything will be on the website. You can print it out. We're doing all the words. You will turn it in to me and we'll grade it. So for the vocabulary quiz, I just want to say this right now. If you are out of ink, I know we have used a tremendous amount of ink on our copier. If you are out of ink, do not worry about it. What we're going to do is, I do have quite a bit of copies this week, which I've not had much of. And so if you are out of ink, this is what you can do. You'll get the Word document set with the questions in the word bank, and you can just fill it out on a sheet of paper like this. Number it, put the word next to it, okay? And then that way you don't have to worry. If your family is out of ink, you can take your quiz, just take a picture, send it to me, we're good. We're not gonna worry about that at this point. So, our new lesson is Candy Makers 2 Continued, and we're using that name because we're going to use at least one character from the book. Now, in the book, there's 4 characters, and as we're reading, you know, there were sections with each character's point of view and voice. Point of view means their opinions and their thoughts. Their voice means that they are writing the paragraph, or the chapter. So the only thing for this assignment is that you are going to use one character's point of view and voice. So if you're writing from Daisy's point of view, you will write the story like you are Daisy, okay? If you are writing it from Philip's point of view, you will write it like you're Philip, okay? So with our story, what I want to see is I want you to create a Candy Makers 2. That means you're going to create your own story. Let's talk about what this looks like. You're getting an outline to print off, 5 paragraphs. This is a story. You are allowed to do 6 to 8 sentences per paragraph. So you can fit all of your dress-ups, decorations, and sentence openers in. Now, the first, you will see it's 3 whole pages, okay, of outlining. And again, if you don't have ink, just do it on a sheet of paper and follow my guidelines on it. Now, your story has to have at least one character of the 4, Logan, Miles, Philip, or Daisy. However, that's where it stops. You can use all 4 as long as you write it from one person's point of view and voice, or you can write about Daisy and all of her friends that are spies. You could write about Logan and his life in a candy making company. So you have full reign. You're going to create your own story. You're going to have a lot of fun with this, and I can't wait to see what you write. Now, let's talk for a minute about how this outline will be laid out. Okay, 5 paragraphs. The first paragraph is going to be your introduction. It's going to talk about your setting, where the story takes place, who your characters are, and when it takes place, okay? The first whole paragraph is background information. Paragraph 2, you're going to have a problem or a conflict. This adds interest in your story, or a need or a want. Paragraph 3, you're going to add a second problem or conflict or need or want. And paragraph 4, you're going to have a climax to your problem, possibly with a resolution. Now, your resolution can go there, or it can go on 5. So you will somehow resolve the conflict after the peak in chapter 4, and then you'll end the 5th paragraph with what happens after. Now, when you follow this format, let me give you an example. If we're talking about Cinderella, the intro is Cinderella, living with her stepsisters with a really mean stepmom. Problem 2 is she wants to go to the ball, but she doesn't have a dress. Problem 3 is they're working her and she can't get to the ball, right? 4 is the climax. They're leaving for the ball. She's not ready. She doesn't think she can get there, and boom, her fairy godmother comes. Paragraph 5, she goes to the ball, and what happens after? She meets the prince. He finds her, they marry, and live happily ever after. That's an example of how you use the 5 paragraphs. Outline. I have listed questions at the bottom of the last page to prompt you. If you get stuck in your story, look at these questions: who, where, when, what, why, how do they feel, best, problems, conflicts, and don't forget to add in conversation. If you get stuck, you can always add conversation. So these are questions to help you from your story sequence chart. And I want to go over the final checklist with you. This is your final checklist. It's going to be different because I created it. So you're only going to have one topic sentence. This is a story. So your first sentence is your topic sentence. Your final sentence at the end of your 5th paragraph is your clincher. So only one topic sentence and one clincher, and you will repeat and reflect 2 to 3 keywords. You will grab your title from your last sentence. Now, you have the dress up, strong verb, ly word, quality adjective, who, which clause, and because clause. We're not adding on. You'll have each of those in all 5 paragraphs. You'll do sentence openers, number 2, number 3, and number 6. Your prepositional, your ly word, and your VSS. Those will be in all 5 paragraphs. That's where your major points are coming from. Now, on your decorations, we're going to do this a little differently. You only have to have 3 in your whole story, okay? I would like you to use 2 different ones because the natural decoration here is going to be conversation, and you're probably going to use it 2 or 3 times, and that's okay. You can count it twice. Other than that, we have alliteration, 3 SSS, and simile, and you want to add one of those in just to add interest to your story. So 3 total decorations. You can use conversation twice, then pick a 3rd one. No banned words, vocabulary words up to 2 for extra points, okay? And then our total points on this is 95. This is our final. It's like our big test, and this is where your big points are coming from. But this is going to be fun. Make it fun. Make a really good story. Have fun with it. We're doing it over 2 weeks, so you're not rushed. You can take your time, and there'll be step-by-step directions on the website. I can't wait to read what you come up with. Get your stuff into me as you can. Let's try to have our final in the last week of school so I can grade it and get grades to you. But if you have any questions, text or email me, and I hope you have a very blessed week. Bye.